What's going on, everybody? Week 5 of the NFL season is just about done, but let's talk about what's going on in the NFL right now, as we do every single week on Productive Conversations. This is your productive recap of Week 5 of the NFL season. Also available, we have Week 6 of the college football season, me and Ryan. You can check that out on this channel on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Also, check out our instant reactions to the Yankee games, because after some terrible New York football and my favorite team embarrassing themselves, then my favorite baseball team embarrassed themselves. So let's get to it. Let's talk about it right away. Okay. First game I'm going to talk about is the Giants and the Saints. It feels so on brand in this era we live in with the Giants. After they win a Super Bowl in 2011, it's been a terrible time, but it's just so on brand that the week before that the New York Giants can beat a undefeated Chargers team who lost earlier, but an undefeated Chargers team, and the very next week they lose to a winless team and a very bad winless team. The Saints secured the first win of the season with a 26-14 victory over the Giants. I mean, give the credit to that kicker, Blake Group, who contributed 4 field goals, including a big 53-yarder, while Jordan Howden returned a fumble for 86 yards for a touchdown. Cam Scattaboo gave you so much love, and then you make that horrible fumble in the red zone. That horrible fumble in the red zone that essentially cost the game. The Giants continued to play terrible in the red zone and continue to piss me off. All right. Spencer Rattler, somebody who just gets no respect in the NFL. He was pretty solid today, and that big 87-yard touchdown pass sealed the deal. And then the defense, oh man, Jackson Dart. The Saints defense was great. Jackson Dart struggled today, really struggled, and him throwing 2 interceptions and 1 interception. I don't know, was he throwing to a ghost out there? Oh, that was ugly. And give credit to Pete Werner here. And again, I'm just, whoa, what 7 full days of hope we got, and then we're back to feeling awful. No wins guaranteed, and the Saints were a -1.5 point favorite, but you thought the Giants had some momentum to make this a more competitive game than it was. And for the first, I don't know, 10 minutes, it looked like it. It looked like maybe the Giants got something here, and then turnovers, sloppy play, defense not getting a rattler, and we are where we are. Oh, what a terrible loss to New Orleans. And let's continue this free fall, because again, we have the worst schedule in the league. And if you're going to be a loyal fan like me, you'll watch all these games. You hope to see some improvements, but sophomore slips are one thing. But this game was not it. Terrible loss for the Giants. Congrats to the Saints on their first victory. On a time when it seems every Giants fan was on Bourbon Street. But nope, the Saints get the last laugh. And then the Jets. Let me ask you all in comment: do you think Aaron Glenn is going to last the full season? A terrible showing, Cowboys and Jets. Dak Prescott threw 4 interceptions. Sorry, Dak Prescott threw 4 touchdown passes. He leads the Cowboys to a 37-21 victory over the Jets. And despite their makeshift offensive line, Prescott orchestrated 2 90-yard scoring drives. The defense could not catch up to the Jets whatsoever, and the struggling Cowboys defense that has been making headlines all year long, well, they secured the victory. They were giving pressure to Justin Fields all game long, barely giving any separation to the receivers on the defensive backside, and then the Cowboys were making noise. I don't know what the Jets have there, what they're going with. I know their running game's beat up, but there wasn't anything going on there. You got a fake play, you got a fake injuries or fake fumbles or whatever in Breece Hall. What a tough, ugly loss for the Jets. And I don't know where you get shaked out off, right? Ugly stuff. Ugly stuff from the Jets. There is not one thing to look forward to there. Very bad game. They should be ashamed of themselves, as the Giants are. as we complete this trifecta with the Yankees losing horribly too. I would do something, do some dance, and maybe the Jets and the Giants can figure themselves out because I don't have faith they are. And maybe this will be for the first time we see both teams draft 1 and 2 together side to side once again. Oh, we already did that with Darnold and Saquon Barkley, who, by the way, became great players in this league when they were in the right system. But we drafted those two back to back in 2018. It's 2025. That is 7 years. Oh, I can't believe he just made wrong decision after wrong decision after wrong decision. What did I do to deserve this? Oh, man. Okay, let's now avoid the New York stuff. Let's go to the Broncos and the Eagles, where the Eagles are down. They lose for the first time this season. The Broncos rallied from a 14-point deficit, and Sean Payton did what he had to do to inspire Bo Nix. Bo Nix with an incredible comeback, and the Eagles were absolutely flabbergasted. They were lost. They did not know what to do. But yeah, the Eagles led for most of the game. It looked like they were about to secure another victory. But I even Saquon Barkley, who's been quiet this season, got a big touchdown. That big 47-yard touchdown. But the Broncos, with their big comeback, J.K. Dobbins runs in for a 2-yard touchdown. Bo Nix with a pass to Evan Ingram. He gets the big game. And then the big 2-point convert. Evan Ingram, he gets the big score. And then you could either tie it or go for the lead. And Sean Payton showed that dog in him. He gambled for the 2-point conversion, and it was successful. Then Will Lutz getting another field goal after that. Things worked really, really well for them. And I know the Eagles might have had a late penalty, that illegal shift, whatever, but unfortunately, they could not keep up. The Broncos get a big victory over the Eagles. Eagles go down for the first time this season. All right, let's talk about Houston and Baltimore. The season from hell continues for the Baltimore Ravens. Already very, very, very short-handed in this game. And already very, very short-handed in this game. And no Lamar Jackson. Can his backup make an impact? No. The Texans dominate the Ravens with a 44-10 victory, where CJ Stroud, looking like the old CJ Stroud, all offense, the Texans outgained the Ravens 417 yards to 207 yards. CJ Stroud almost perfect, 23 for 27. And the Ravens suffered their third straight loss, and it did not work on either side of the ball. I mean, I did not expect heading into October, or after the first week of October, the Baltimore Ravens would only have one win. And they've definitely had some interesting games, some nail biters, some really fun ones to watch. But yet, the Texans stay dominant. They bounce back. They get some much needed momentum back in their season. And we'll see if they can keep on riding from this. But great games for Nico Collins and Stroud and all that. And it was a great day to be a Texans fan. All right, why don't we now talk about the Raiders and the Colts, as the Raiders and Geno Smith continue their season from hell, and the Raiders continue to give people a lot of questions. The Colts overwhelmed the Raiders with a 40-6 victory. Jonathan Taylor runs in for 3 touchdowns. Daniel Jones throws in for 2 more. And that's not much to break down. It was all Colts and no Raiders. And Geno Smith keeps throwing turnovers. And Gentry doesn't get touches. They're well protected. The Colts are in a groove once again after a very tight game against the Rams. And if you're a Colts fan, you should feel very, very good. The Raiders fan, you should be very, very nervous. The Dolphins and the Panthers. The Dolphins and the Panthers, everybody. All right, guess what? You know who wins? It is the Miami Dolphins who don't win. It's actually the Carolina Panthers who get the victory. There's a viral clip of Mike McDaniel walking out of the locker room, walking off the field. There is that viral clip of Mike McDaniel walking with his team after the game, looking like the life was taken out of him. And well, when you are up 17 points against a franchise that is quite frankly known for being god awful in the last 5 years, then you lose by a score of 27-24, and Bryce Young gives an incredible 2-minute drill, an incredible comeback. And it was Rico Dowdle who rushed for 206 yards on the ground alone. The Miami Dolphins are cooked. They clearly need a major change. I don't think McDaniel will be staying, and you just have to be absolutely angry for the Dolphins. They were so high the last 3 years, so high. They keep getting hurt on both sides of the ball, clearly. Tua still, I mean, does he have the talent to win in the league? Yes, but why does everybody keep getting hurt around him? And, he himself has had concussion issues. That's something to wonder about. And you just want to see what is the big problem here. What is causing all these major issues? Why can't this work? I don't know, but that is just what you have to get used to, I guess. Miami Dolphins crushing 24-27 victory. Sorry, 24-27 loss from the Carolina Panthers. We had a very interesting Thursday night game between the 49ers and the Rams. The 49ers just keep figuring out how to win, even with all their injuries. And Mac Jones back under center as the starting quarterback. But Mac Jones steps in. He goes 33 for 49, 342 yards, and a touchdown. And you got to give him credit, leading multiple scoring drives, including the game-winning drive in overtime. And the 49, this game went to overtime. Kieran Williams was having an awesome game. Then that crucial turnover changed the game. Give credit to the rookie defensive tackle, Alfred Collins, causing that forced fumble and the recovery at the goal line. Then the 49ers kick it in, and they seal the victory. You know how much I love the 49. You know how much I love the Rams, but you can't give up like that. Bad defense towards the end of the game, and then this team is somehow 4-1. It shows Kyle Shanahan can do well, but again, we always praise Coach Shanahan at every single regular season for the most part. But when it comes to that NFC Championship or Super Bowl, those are some nasty losses. But if there's anything to show that maybe you get so many hits, you get so many times to step up to the plate and try to hit something. Eventually, if you're good enough, you'll eventually hit a home run. So maybe that's the case with Shanahan. Again, we won't know for a few months, but big victory to go there for the 49ers over the Rams. All right, let's go to another international game. Another one to wake up at 9:34, the Vikings and the Browns. It was Dylan Gabriel's debut, and Carson Wentz trying to establish himself, see what he has left, and give credit to the Vikings because they get the big victory, especially Jordan Mason with the big touchdown in the third quarter. What I liked about this game was Dylan Gabriel looked like he did have composure, and I do think he'll be able to continue to improve as the weeks go by. But it was just the defense making crucial penalties for Cleveland that kind of caused a setback here. So, interesting in that sense, but ultimately you kind of liked what was being offered there. Yeah, that's what I have to say with that. All right, let's now move forward and let's talk about the Buccaneers and the Seahawks. This back and forth game between two former teammates who were both backups back in Carolina. Two teams synonymous with each other. Two teams that were drafted 1 and 3 overall. The Bucs once again pull off the victory. Another walk-off field by Chase McLaughlin, and the Bucs win a big one on the road. But Maker's stellar day, a QBR of 134.7 and nearly passing for 400 yards. 400 yards. Emeka Ibuka continues to show why he's the rookie of the year already. 163 yards and a touchdown. I mean, this dude is on Jamar Chase and Randy Moss level, is what they're saying. The Ohio State standout. And Sam Darnold, give them credit again, back and forth, but it was just a matter of who would blink. And Levante David's interception from Sam Darnold sealed the victory. So we are so lucky to have such entertaining football throughout and great quarterback play for games just like this. I don't think this game will bring down the Seahawks too much. All I know is if you keep the game against the Buccaneers, and clearly the Bucs like to keep games close for some reason, more often than not, they will pull off the victory one way or the other. So great stuff for the Buccaneers. The Tennessee Titans and the Cardinals with one of the weirdest, absolutely funniest ways to get a touchdown. What should be an interception, then a fumble that so happened to fall into the end zone, and they just jumped on it for that touchdown that, was the play of the game. But the Titans down by 15 in the fourth quarter, they seal the victory. One of the largest fourth quarter comebacks in their own history. And yeah, after being down 21-3 in the second, the Titans defense just refused to let the Cardinals score. Give credit to Joey Slye for the big 29-yard field goal as time expires to win the game and snap the Titans' 10-game losing streak. And give credit to Cam Ward, who earned his first victory as a starter and got 265 yards in the air. And then the other thing about this game, not only the absolutely weird fumble recovery for a touchdown, but also don't forget the Cardinals running back with that huge rush, over 70 yards for a touchdown, and then he drops the ball right before he crosses the line. That winds up being a touchback that clearly would have won the game for the Cardinals too. What a sloppy, messy, disgusting game of football that was also entertaining, fun, and thrilling. So the Tennessee Titans win this game, and the Cardinals continue to figure out what the hell is going on this season. Yeah. Okay. So why don't we now talk about the Commanders and Chargers, where the Chargers lose their second game in a row. Justin Herbert is just at her bum for games like this, and the Chargers lose a tough one. So Commanders defeat the Chargers by a score of 27-10, showcasing a balanced offense attack and stout defense. And with a returning Jaden Daniels, bro had a pretty simple and modest game, but good enough to win. He was 15 for 26, 231 yards. And we see Justin Herbert having a PDA moment with his girlfriend, and he plays pretty mid. And with a absolutely dumb turnovers, especially throwing a interception in at the goal line, that's how you know people will never trust Justin Herbert and will always be skeptic on whether or not he can lead his team to victory. But the Chargers also were disciplined with 10 penalties for 85 yards. And all of their turnovers in Washington territory. I mean, it was exciting for a little bit, that Ladd McConkey 57-yard punt return for a touchdown. And then it was a rush, and then it was a penalty. So just a very bad game. Very, very bad game. A mess for the Chargers. And They clearly miss Joe Alt. Justin Herbert sat 4 times and was just running for his life the whole game. Also with Slater out, but clearly the Chargers are down because they're down because 2 of their starters on their line, including their major first round pick, Joe Alt. They're in a lot of trouble and there's a lot to worry about. So that's all I can say. Justin Herbert doesn't impress me either way as well. Okay, so the Lions and the Bengals, a lot closer than we thought, but still a respectful 37-24 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. The Lions defense forced 3 interceptions and also recorded a safety on a late sack in the fourth quarter. The Lions converted 2 interceptions for 14 points. And Jared Goff continues to stay efficient. Another almost perfect day, and has 153 passer rating. And then the great duo of Montgomery and Gibbs, they scored touchdowns as well. And those scored late. Jake Browning was having a hard time getting the ball to Higgins and Chase until later in the game. All right, so I think the Lions are just continuing to show why they're one of the best teams. They haven't had a lot of challenges per se, but the Lions are still going to be an interesting team to watch this season. And let's see them continue to go as the season goes. And I think the Bengals clearly just need a better option at quarterback than Jake Browning. We won't see Joe Burrow till the holiday season, if that. So, the Giants are trying to figure out their new quarterback. Russell Wilson's available. Marcus Mariota could be available for the Commanders. He has done pretty well for his 2 starts. I don't know if McCarthy will come back or not, but maybe Wentz too. You gotta have more competent quarterbacks than Jake Browning. Just Jake Browning's not it. He sucks. He sucks a lot. So, why don't we now wrap this up with the games and talk about the Patriots and the Bills. The Bills suffered their first loss of the season, but the Patriots handled the Bills. They upset them once and for all, and thanks to Drake May showing that big dog energy, he helps them lead to a big win. And with Drake May, a great 2-minute drill to set up the game-winning field goal, they do that, and the Pats are over the moon right now. But the Patriots defense forced a key swing play in the third quarter. The Marcus Jones interception from Josh Allen inside the red zone was clearly a costly mistake, and they turned that interception to a 90-yard drive for a touchdown. And Stephon Diggs having his breakout game of the season. He should be back in the realm. In his return to Buffalo, he only has 10 receptions for 146 yards. And James Cook continuing to impress people as well. But the Patriots and the Bills, the Bills were just sloppy. The Bills just couldn't handle the Patriots offense. And yeah, don't have to be in panic mode yet, but the Bills definitely played their weakest game of the season so far. And there's no way to sugarcoat that. So why don't we now talk about our picks for Monday Night Football? It is the Jaguars and the Chiefs. Monday Night Football. Will Taylor be there after her critically panned album? I don't know. This would be a good time for her to support her boyfriend, but all the cameras will be there. So again, I don't know. But either way, the Chiefs opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. The Jaguars are playing at home as well. So we'll see if that plays a factor in any way. But I think the Chiefs could cover that 3.5 point. You know what? Actually, I changed his mind at the last second. I'm going to give the Jaguars plus 3.5. And you know why? They've looked better as the week's gone by. The Chiefs, although getting healthier, I just think they're just known to not cover in this era. And I'm just feeling the rise of Brian Thomas, a great running game for the Jaguars. And the Jaguars defense can handle the Chiefs. It'll be closer than we think, but ultimately give me the Jaguars at plus 3.5. All right. So that's our show for you all today. A recap of week 5 of the NFL season. My name is Matt Brown. I'm the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. Check out our week 6 recap of the college football season. Check out our instant reactions for all the American League Division Series games. And yeah, just a reminder, this Tuesday we have a tweet cap recapping the biggest stories that took place over the weekend. Tuesday we'll also have an instant reaction to the Yankees and the Blue Jays in Game 3. Then on Wednesday, we have an instant reaction, Yankees and Blue Jays Game 4. And then on Friday, we will do a tweet cap to recap the biggest trending stories that are happening in the week ahead. Hopefully it's a good week, a safe week. And remember to be kind, love yourself, and enjoy the times. It'll be something to look forward to. So we'll see you next week with a week 6 recap of the NFL season and a week 7 recap of the college football season. And then tweet caps galore after that. So see you soon, everybody. Peace.